Welcome to Brown Dog Archery YouTube channel. This is our first video that we're making. So as you can see by the title, this is going to be about spine alignment and your arrows. With this being our first video, I just want to start by saying I'm not a professional bow tech. I'm an amateur. I know a little bit about it. I'm willing to share the little bit that I know, and hopefully I'll learn some along the way here. So like I said, not a professional here, but I will teach you a little bit that I know, and as I learn things, I'll try to share them as well. But this is my at-home archery shop here in my apartment. So basically, what is spine alignment? Let's jump right into it. Spine alignment is you're finding the stiffest part of the arrow. So every arrow you get, it bends a certain way. There's a stiffest part of this arrow. So when it flies off your rest, it's bending one way every time, pretty much, depending on where the stiff part is. A lot of the arrows today, like these Victory, these are some budget Victory V3, V-Force. They're 0.24 or 0.245, I think, and then they're 350 spines. Like I said, budget, just a good all-around cheap but good arrow. They're supposed to come spine aligned. A lot of arrows, I know Easton makes some arrows, Victory does a lot of spine aligned arrows. For the most part, they all are spine aligned from my findings, but it's never a bad idea to check. And if you do happen to pick up an arrow that's not spine aligned, coming straight from the factory, this is a great way to be able to figure out how to find your spine alignment, so that you can fletch based on your spine alignment. So basically, to do this, you're going to need arrows, and you're going to need either a bow press or something that you can come up with something that can squeeze the arrow in on itself so that it will bend. And like I said, I'm going to show you what that means here in just a second. Let's move the camera a little closer here to the press, and we'll show you an up-close view of actually bending the arrow to find the spine alignment. So let's do that now. So now we've got the arrow here in the press. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove the nock. So you can either pull that out or you can grab a pair of pliers very gently. Don't want to break the nock, and kind of wiggle it out. And then you either want carbon to carbon, meaning that you've got carbon here to carbon here, or if there's a insert, it's not as big of a deal. Or you can take a field point here, and then you can use like an extra insert and put it in there and put a field point in this side, and then you can stick it in the press. In this case, I'm going to use what I call the carbon to carbon method, which is just carbon back with the field point there, or the insert. So we can bend this arrow. All of these arrows that come considered spine aligned have a line or something that says they're spine aligned. So like on these arrows, these V3s from Victory, it says spine aligned, and it's giving me a line. It's running in line with the cock vein, so that makes sense if the spine is correct. Now what we want to do is we just want to put a little pressure on the arrow. You can see it starting to bend there. And let's go ahead and do it. So it's bending like this. It's kind of bending up, which means the weak side is underneath because it has the most bow in the arrow. So that's your weak side, and your strong side is going to be over on the top side there because it is bending the least amount and withstanding the pressure that it's under. So this one actually is currently spine aligned for the most part, very close with the cock vein, but you always want to check it in quarters, like every side of the arrow. So we'll start and do that. So there's one side, we'll spin it about a quarter turn. It's kind of bowing out, still kind of bowing out towards that. Let's see, there's another quarter turn. That one's still kind of, it's hard to tell. I don't know how this camera's doing, but it's still kind of bowing down, or it's still bowing towards the strong side down there. Let's give it another turn here. It's the last time. Yep, so it's hard to tell, but it's still bowing this way, which is towards the cock vein. So this one is actually spine aligned. But let's talk about as if if this one, let's say this, if the weak side of the arrow was lined up with the cock vane, so let's say the cock vane was on the other side and it's in this big large bow, you can kind of see there. Then my next steps for me would be to take this fletching off and refletch it to where it is now. But like I said, imagine that this is flip-flopped, because you kind of want your cock vane on a compound bow to be on the strong side, because you want your strong side up so that when that arrow flies out of your rest, it bends upward slightly, and then it'll straighten out and go through the fall away rest that you have. So that is definitely a good arrow there. This one is spine aligned, and all these arrows come with, as you can tell, spine aligned. I know I just talked about that, but I'll let you actually see where it says spine aligned right there. It may be backwards because of the camera, but yeah, that's how you do the spine alignment for check spine alignment on all these arrows. And you want to do it for all of your arrows. That way you get a consistent arrow flight. Archery is all about consistency. If you can make something do something consistently, you're going to get, tighter groups. So we've already determined that this one is spine aligned. But if it was not spine aligned, or we found one that was slightly off, you could take some sort of white marker. And what I would do is I would go, in this case, let's assume that this white cock vane is on the other side and it's wrong. I would come in here and I would just make a little mark right there to kind of get it in line with where the spine is. And then that way when you come out to go refletch your arrows, you know that is the stiff part of the arrow. That's where you want the cock vane for fletching. But in this case, it's close enough that it shouldn't be a huge deal. So overall, I think that arrow is good to go. Like I said, this is I would do this to every arrow you have. We just talked about consistency is key. So that's how you find the spine alignment. That's how you mark it. Obviously, if you were using an uncut arrow, let's say it was either just a straight shaft, no fletchings, it had not been cut to length or anything yet, you can still find it with just a regular bare shaft. When you go to mark your spine alignment, you want to come up closer to where you've got the writing on the arrow to make your mark, because you don't know how much you're going to cut off, obviously. So it's kind of common sense, but we'll just throw it out there anyway. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. We're going to be doing a lot more bow videos. This is just kind of the first kickoff, if you will. We'll do some shooting, probably a little bit of hunting videos in there if we can make that work. We'll do bow builds, everything from peep sights to just basically all the bow tech side of things, fletching, all of that stuff at some point. So just follow along if you're interested in bow tech stuff and you want to learn how to kind of work on your own bow. And even if you're not interested in that stuff, like I said, we're going to have some shooting content coming out at some point where we're shooting targets, just all sorts of stuff like that. And then we'll probably have some deer hunting content, maybe some turkey hunting with a bow content. If not, we will also probably put out some content that we are not bow hunting. So we might have some rifle hunting, shotgun hunting, whether it be ducks, deer, turkey, whatever, dove, whatever it may be. But yeah, just follow along with us. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you here on another video. We're here at Brown Dog Archery.